We never say, there is nearly a tree there, or there is nearly a cloud there, or there is nearly a sound there. Equally, we never say, there is nearly a person there, or there is nearly a dog there. Whatever appears, appears completely as itself. It may later be described, analyzed, or divided by thought, but its appearance is never partial. It is wholly what it is. The same is true of the universe itself. We never say, there is nearly a universe there. What appears as apparently individual forms is simultaneously the inseparable appearance of the whole universe and beyond. Whatever appears, appears completely. There is no sense in which appearance is waiting to become itself. The key issue is whether what appears is understood as appearance, not knowable as either something or nothing, in other words, no-thing, or whether it is taken to be a separate something. If what appears is taken to be a separate object by virtue of the sense of being a separate self, seemingly dependent upon the body, it can never be complete. As soon as it is treated as an object, thought assumes there must be something outside it, something surrounding it, something producing it, or something upon which it depends for the source of its being. In that assumption, incompleteness is born. What appears is no longer simply appearing as itself. It has been turned into a separate thing that seems to require an explanation, completion, or support. With that comes attachment, ownership, avoidance, suppression, and the endless search for something else to make it complete. However, in the absence of the experience of separation, which may be understood as a kind of entrancing dream that was never real in the first place, but only seemed so from within the dream, there is simply what appears, not knowable as either something or nothing. If an outside, an inside, or a beyond were to appear, that too would simply be another appearance. It is whole as it is. Every appearance appears wholly. This is inseparable from the obviousness that the separate self is an illusion. They are not two separate discoveries, but one and the same. The apparent self falls away, and with it the apparent incompleteness of what appears. Every appearance is simply whole as it appears, and the search for another appearance to complete it naturally comes to an end. Even when the thought, tree, cloud, sound, person, or dog appears, it too is simply another appearance of what is unknowable. The label does not divide what appears into separate things. It's simply itself, part of what appears. This is what is meant by wholeness. It is not a quality or a nature. It simply refers to the fact that all there is what is appearing. The fact that what appears is undeniable. Yet it is worth asking what, if anything, this simple fact allows us to conclude. Appearance seems to possess an intrinsic luminosity, presence, radiance, or self-revealing quality. From this, some traditions infer that there must be an underlying reality or ultimate principle. Appearance is treated as evidence that points beyond itself to its source. Yet even the apparent luminosity of what appears does not honestly seem, from the appearance itself, to justify the inference of any underlying source. This is not to deny the apparent luminosity of what appears. It too simply appears. To infer from this a separate underlying principle is to move beyond what appearance itself reveals. This is not to deny the appearance of awareness or knowing, nor the apparent functional or therapeutic value of witnessing what appears. They too may appear. The point is simply that appearance itself does not seem to require any such inference, nor does the wholeness of what appears seem to depend upon one. In that case, seeking and the suffering it entails may simply come to an end, not through standing apart from what appears, but through the obviousness of its wholeness. This is not to deny the appearance of awareness or knowing, nor the apparent functional or therapeutic value of witnessing what appears. They too may appear. The point is simply that appearance itself does not seem to require any such inference, nor does the wholeness of what appears seem to depend upon one. In that case, seeking and the suffering it entails may simply come to an end, not through standing apart from what appears, but through the obviousness of its wholeness. Nothing needs to happen for wholeness to become obvious. What changes is not the appearance itself, but the apparent reality of the dream of separation. Once its illusory nature is obvious, it is equally obvious that there never was an appearance of a separate self standing apart from what appears. Indeed, it may seem that in seeking an ultimate explanation, we simply replace one form of identification with another, only now in a more subtle guise. The central issue of identification itself, which lies at the heart of duality, remains unresolved. No cause of what appears is ever found. What appears simply appears. It does not need to know itself to be whole. Perhaps the deepest assumption of all is that appearance must ultimately point beyond itself, yet nothing in appearance itself requires this. The need for an underlying explanation belongs to thought, not to appearance. Appearance never appears nearly. It simply appears wholly and completely as itself. From this, it may seem that non-duality is far simpler than is often assumed. It need not depend on any metaphysics or ultimate explanation. The clue to wholeness may already be hiding in plain sight within what appears. With love, Freya.